It's St. Patrick's Day and a lot of us are excited with plenty of green, but our forecast may be not so lucky. I'm actually anticipating more shenanigans in today's forecast than anything else because we had temperatures this morning that were into the 50s. We were then into the upper 40s. Then as we go through the day, you'll find mid 40s, lower 40s, into the 30s, and even close to freezing by your Friday night. Not only are these temperatures cooling out, but the winds will be picking up out of the northwest. So 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts, meaning we are going to be feeling temperatures that are a lot cooler than what that air temperature is actually reading. The good news is that the rainfall from the morning, that is done, and the majority of us are going to be looking at cloudy skies as we go through our St. Patrick's Day. On average, though, we typically find our temperatures to average out into the mid-30s. That dates back all the way through the 1800s into, well, last year, not very long ago. And speaking of not very long ago, back in 2012, the warmest St. Patrick's Day was recorded, and that was at 77 degrees. Now, the coldest one was at -2. That was the morning low that day, and that was recorded just at the turn of the century, 1900. Now, the snowiest of St. Patrick's Days, I thought it would have been a little bit more, but 4 inches is the max amount of snow we've seen on March 17th in the Toledo area. That was back in 1973, and the wettest one, not too bad, 1980, coming in just under an inch at 0.95. Now, St. Paddy's Day stats, usually we can get some rain, a little bit of snow, or some dry weather. So it's about 48% chance that we, or well, 48% of the time, that is, that we can run this day without rainfall. This year doesn't look like we're helping that number. Now, 64% of our St. Paddy's Days, we've been enjoying it without snowfall. So that number we can help out a little bit. But temperatures being all over the place, going from 50s to the 30s, well, that means that we're just kind of having those shenanigans to work with. So for the stats, most of our St. Paddy's Days, we've found those highs to be into the 30s. This year, it will register into the 50s since that was the warmest temperature that we reached within that 24-hour period of March 17th. Now, the morning lows typically have been into the 20s, so our low more than likely going to squeeze into the lower 30s, might even fall into the upper 20s to help out some of those stats. Now, radar satellite, it was a busy one as far as last evening, overnight, and this morning. You'll find the bulk of the rainfall that's through Pennsylvania, western New York, and yet we have the cloud cover in behind it. You will find the cold front has now passed. Temperatures have just been tumbling since then, and because we have the cooler air, we'll be watching for that wind shift. You'll actually kind of spot that to be coming over Lake Michigan, and that's why we're seeing a little bit of lake effect snow into the western portion of the lower peninsula. As far as our forecast, we're going to be dry. The lingering showers, those are done for us, and we will have those snow shower potential as we go into tomorrow's forecast, determined by that wind direction. But already windy conditions. I talked about how gusty it was going to be today with those 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a peak wind of 40 miles per hour. And we're picking up some air here on our Fifth Third bank cam. You can kind of see it shaking a little bit, and I guess everybody's maybe getting a little jiggy with it. Maybe that's why everything is shaking. But overall, it's mainly for those windy conditions. You'll find mostly cloudy skies. Those are overhead here, but overall fairly bright and, well, a lot of green going on in downtown Toledo. Now, we do have, well, that green that was on our hour-by-hour forecast, but as we work through the day, you're going to find it's mainly quiet. The cloudy skies, maybe a little bit of lake effect flurries do come in, but for the most of us, it's going to be a dry one. Now, overnight, we'll have partly cloudy skies. You will find Saturday morning, we have, here comes these lake effect snow showers. They're going to just be here and there, causing us mainly to just have a couple of flurries as we enter into the weekend, but it's going to be quite a bit colder. Temperatures on Saturday are only going to be around the freezing mark, so it's just going to be chilly while you're out there, plus it's going to be breezy with westerly winds. So just plan on a winter-like Saturday and rather than a spring-like day, because spring starts on Monday. Now, our temperatures, because of the cold front, you can see a lot of us are into the lower 40s right now. We're at 41 in Toledo, Monroe, 39 in Adrian, Defiance. We're at 41 in Ottawa, 42 in Port Clinton and Marblehead, and 43 in Sandusky. These temperatures will continue to hold here, if not just budge a little bit lower into the upper 30s as we go through the day. So as we monitor the temperature swings of today, have the hourly forecast with you on the WTOL 11 weather app. I know a lot of us were using the radar portion of the app this morning, tracking the rainfall and how that works with our St. Patrick's Day plans. So now we're watching the temperature side of this since the rainfall has moved out. And temperatures, of course, through the weekend, like I said, going to be chilly. So looking for warm ups Maybe you can even spot one. All you have to do is download the app. It is a free app that you can have on your device. Now for our daily almanac, with temperatures that were around 50 degrees this morning, we're actually getting close to that average high. We just couldn't sustain and hold on to it. So temperatures are actually going to fall and get close to where our lows should be, but that just means a chilly night ahead and our weekend going to be well below average when we're forecasting highs that are in the 30s, when we should be talking closer to the 40s, even the 50s. But as far as those records, you will find, there we go, back in 2012, that 77-degree day, and then that -2 low when we were looking at the climatology. Our sunrise this morning, that was at 7:44 a.m., but conveniently our sunset is going to be at 7:44 p.m. So we are looking at 12 hours of daylight for today, though we're not going to see much as far as sun because of the cloud cover left over from that system. Now for your Friday night, if you're going to still be enjoying St. Patrick's Day, it'll be a cold one with temperatures into the lower 30s, and it'll be windy, so it's going to feel chilly as well. Saturday, a lot of us are probably going to be watching basketball. Maybe we're going to some games to cheer on our favorite teams. Plan on a few flurries, nothing that's going to be problematic for you to drive to or from the game, but just bundle up. Have your favorite hoodie on to cheer on your team, as temperatures once again will be right around the freezing mark. Now Sunday, it's a little bit warmer. We're adding a little more sun into the forecast as well. Temperatures are still in the 30s, but the sun's going to really kind of help to make it feel a little bit warmer because it'll just at least look warmer. However, we'll still have that cooler feeling. Now our temperatures are only chilly here for the weekend. We'll actually find next week we try to get closer to spring. The arrival of spring on March 20th, we have a high of 50 degrees. We're going to hold fairly close there, watching for the lake breeze on Wednesday to keep that number maybe a little bit cooler for some of us. So keep an eye on Wednesday's forecast temperature wise, but it looks like we're able to rebound a little bit, holding on to those 50s until we have some seasonal-ish 40s for next weekend. We keep kind of having these cooler weekends with the 30s for this weekend, 40s for next weekend, and it looks like 50s seems to be the theme during the week. Now our rain and snow chances, the forecast going to be quiet. Now that we're through the rain of today, we're just going to continue to watch this line drop. And by the time we arrive to Saturday, that's just for the snow showers and few flurries. But otherwise, the forecast, thankfully, into spring, not a lot of spring showers here. It'll be late next week that we watch for our next system. You'll even find that here on the extended forecast. But like I said, we just are through the showers of this morning. Just a few flurries for your Saturday with the cooler temperatures. And then here we go with the more mild temps, those 50s. Sun to go with them. Looking forward to a Monday where we're going to find 50 degrees, sunny skies, and then a little more cloud cover building in until that system late next week. We will be on the rain side because of those mild temperatures, so we'll be looking out for those. And hopefully next weekend, though it's a little bit cooler, maybe we can dry it out to have some fun, really kind of enjoy those spring feelings that come with the season. Of course, throughout the weekend and even for your Friday night plans on the St. Patrick's Day, have the WTOL 11 weather app ready to go to stay updated on the latest as far as those temperature swings and when we'll have our next warm up.